Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, has a rich history surrounding its discovery and naming. Named after the Roman goddess of agriculture, grain crops, fertility, and motherly relationships, the designation of Ceres reflects both classical mythology and the astronomical traditions of the time. The naming process involved extensive discussion among astronomers, reflecting the scientific and cultural influences of the late 18th and early 19th centuries. This document explores the historical background, discovery, and subsequent naming of Ceres in great detail. The discovery of Ceres dates back to the late 18th century, when astronomers were searching for a missing planet between Mars and Jupiter. The Titius-Bode law, a mathematical relationship predicting the spacing of planets in the solar system, suggested that a planet should exist in the large gap between these two planets. In response, a group of astronomers formed the Celestial Police, an organization dedicated to locating this missing world. On January 1, 1801, the Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi, who was the director of the Palermo Astronomical Observatory in Sicily, discovered a new celestial object while making star observations. Initially, he believed it to be a comet, but its slow and consistent motion suggested otherwise. Piazzi observed the object over several nights, recording its position and movement before illness prevented him from continuing his work. As word of the discovery spread, astronomers across Europe began tracking the object's orbit, confirming that it was not a comet, but rather a small planetary body. Upon confirming his discovery, Piazzi had the privilege of naming the new celestial body. In keeping with tradition, which often involved classical mythology, he chose the name Ceres Ferdinandea. Ceres was the Roman goddess of agriculture, a fitting choice given Sicily's historical association with grain production. Ferdinandea was in honor of King Ferdinand III of Sicily, who supported the Palermo Observatory. However, while Ceres was widely accepted, the additional designation Ferdinandea met resistance from astronomers outside of Italy, particularly in France and other parts of Europe. Given the political tensions of the time, naming celestial objects after monarchs was controversial. As a result, the planetary community ultimately dropped Ferdinandea, leaving Ceres as the sole name. The selection of the name Ceres aligned well with the existing conventions of naming celestial bodies after figures from Greco-Roman mythology. The major planets, such as Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars, were already named after Roman deities. The discovery of Uranus in 1781 by William Herschel had broken with tradition, as Herschel had initially proposed the name Georgium Sidus in honor of King George III of England. However, international astronomers rejected this royal naming, and Johann Bode eventually suggested Uranus, which adhered to the mythological pattern. Given this precedent, Piazzi's choice of Ceres fit within the broader tradition of naming significant celestial objects after deities. Ceres, the Roman counterpart to the Greek goddess Demeter, symbolized fertility, agriculture, and sustenance, key elements of life and civilization. The name resonated particularly well with the scientific and agricultural community of the time. At the time of its discovery, astronomers classified Ceres as a planet. Given that the known planets were already named after mythological figures, Ceres' designation as a planet strengthened its naming legitimacy. However, as additional small objects were discovered in the same region, such as Pallas, Juno, and Vesta, astronomers began to reconsider the classification of these bodies. By the mid-19th century, the term asteroid, meaning star-like, was introduced to describe these small planetary objects, leading to a reclassification of Ceres as an asteroid rather than a planet. Despite its reclassification, the name Ceres remained unchanged. Unlike some later asteroids that received numerical designations, Ceres retained a special status due to its prominence as the first and largest object discovered in the asteroid belt. The name Ceres has endured for over 2 centuries, symbolizing the connection between mythology and science. The importance of Ceres in both Roman mythology and its astronomical significance has led to its continued prominence. In 2006, with the establishment of the category of dwarf planets, Ceres was reclassified once again, now recognized as a dwarf planet alongside Pluto, Eris, and other similar bodies. This reclassification further solidified Ceres' significance in the scientific community. The legacy of Ceres extends beyond astronomy. The term cereal derives from the goddess Ceres, highlighting her influence on agriculture and human civilization. Additionally, Ceres' depiction in literature, art, and culture has helped maintain its symbolic power throughout history. The naming of Ceres is a fascinating chapter in the history of astronomy, reflecting the intersection of science, mythology, and international collaboration. Piazzi's discovery and naming choice honored both classical traditions and contemporary influences, while subsequent astronomical developments cemented Ceres' place in celestial nomenclature. Today, Ceres remains an important object of study, offering insights into the early solar system and planetary formation. Its name, rooted in ancient mythology, continues to inspire scientists and space enthusiasts alike.